This drugs, antipsychotic drugs, they are mainly used in case of schizophrenia. You know all the positive, negative symptoms of schizophrenia, and these drugs are actually used for. So I have told already, it is for schizophrenia or any psychiatric disorders. And during the past 70 years, psychiatric treatment has witnessed major changes because not of drugs they have discovered. And before 1950s, the psychiatric treatment, what was the psychiatric treatment? All the psychiatric patients, they were kept in mental asylums. But now everything has changed with drugs. They are able to live along with other population in the society. So that is the importance after the introduction of different drugs. So earlier, these antipsychotic drugs were used. They are called major tranquilizers. Then we will see what is schizophrenia. It's a group of functional psychosis in which severe personality changes and thought disorders occur with no evidence of organic cerebral damage. And there can be positive as well as negative symptoms. Already in the introduction class, we have seen everything. Then I just repeat. The positive symptoms will be delusions, illusions, auditory hallucinations, etc. Negative symptoms will be introvert behavior, there is depression, etc. Then poor socialization, they won't be interacting with other people. So that is the negative symptoms. So this constitute what is called schizophrenia. Then now the exact pathogenesis of schizophrenia, it is not known, but there are different theories. That is, one is actually genetic. It may be due to genetic predisposition, and they have found out one gene which encodes neuroregulin 1. So this is a gene. So this is mainly seen in European population. So there is one reason is genetic predisposition. Second, it is dopamine hypothesis. We have seen in the introduction class, I have told you, if dopamine is increased, it may cause, sorry, the schizophrenia or psychosis. And if the dopamine is less, it will be depression. So there is a dopamine hypothesis. But certain prototype drugs like haloperidol, phenothiazines, etc., only block this dopamine receptors. I am talking about schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is due to increased dopamine, and about the antipsychotic drugs, only certain drugs blocks this dopamine. So that is, I am coming to the hypothesis. Then, but there are certain other drugs like clozapine. We'll see later. Clozapine, one drug example, clozapine. It is having only less effect on D2 as well as D1 receptors, but it is mainly to 5-HT2, D4 and alpha-1 and H1 receptors. So they have found out that not only dopamine, other factors are also involved in the causation of schizophrenia. So like 5-HT, 5-HT2 is also involved. So that is, so first one was genetic, second is dopamine, and also there will be, I'll come to that. So third one is 5-HT hypothesis. So 5-HT, especially how they found out this, you know the drug LSD. LSD is a hallucinogenic drug. This drug, when this is a drug which is when it is taken, it is a hallucinogenic hallucinogen. So when it is taken, it causes hallucination. So this is mainly it is through 5-HT. This drug is acting through 5-HT. So they have found out that the schizophrenia like symptoms, it is produced by LSD. So but LSD's action is through 5-HT. So they are thinking that there are certain drugs that act on the 5-HT, it may be effective in schizophrenia. So that is the 5-HT hypothesis. So genetic, dopamine, 5-HT hypothesis, and also glutamate hypothesis. So fourth one, it is glutamate hypothesis. So they have found out that the negative symptoms of this schizophrenia, it is due to the underactivity of NMDA receptors, while overactivity, I have told you, NMDA receptor results in the positive symptoms. So the negative symptoms are due to the underactivity of NMDA receptor. So if you are using certain drugs which acts on the NMDA receptors or glutamate, it may be effective in schizophrenia. So there are genetic, dopamine hypothesis, 5-HT hypothesis, and glutamate hypothesis. Now we will see the drugs. Yes. The antipsychotic drugs, they are also called neuroleptic, ataratic, they are different names, major tranquilizer, but now they are using the name neuroleptic. It is used in case of schizophrenia, and chlorpromazine, it is taken as the prototype drug. So the important drugs classification, the antipsychotic drugs, we just see the classification. Under phenothiazines comes aliphatic side chain, piperidine side chain, piperazine side chain. So under this comes phenothiazine, chlorpromazine, triflupromazine, thioridazine, trifluoperazine, fluphenazine. Then another group, thiosandine, that is flupentixol. Then other heterocyclic compounds like pymoside, loxapine, and levosulpiride. Then butyrophenones, haloperidol, trifluperidol, penfluridol. I think you would have heard of this drug, haloperidol and chlorpromazine. Is it? Yes or no? Or don't? You have not heard? Jubin Samad, have you heard of the drug haloperidol?
Ma'am.
Have you heard of the drug haloperidol before? If you say
I don't remember, ma'am.
Huh?
I don't remember, ma'am.
Okay. No, not from pharmacology. I am asking whether from outside medical college. No, you have not heard. Okay, no problem. I think people will be familiar with haloperidol because other than outside the medical college also, people are using these drugs. For example, some novels, etc. These drugs are coming. Similarly, chlorpromazine also. In some novels, it will be there. So that is why I asked you. Okay, no problem. Then, so these are the drugs. This phenothiazine, thiosandine, up to these compounds, mainly it act on the, especially these phenothiazines, they act on the dopamine. They are dopamine receptor blocking drug. Whereas there are other drugs like atypical antipsychotics, like this is a group of drug. Clozapine, risperidone, olanzapine, quetiapine, aripiprazole, cipralzine, amisulpride, sotapine. These drugs, this is a very important. This is important for your exams, everything, the short note on atypical antipsychotics or essay on atypical antipsychotics, it is very important. These drugs, they are the drugs that is acting on this 5-HT, then H1, ACH, etc., and also the NMDA. So we will be today. I'll be taking this one, this much important points about the drugs I'll be taking. So we will see the important points, the pharmacological action, CNS. So we will see what will happen if the antipsychotic drug it is given to normal as well as psychotic individuals. In non-psychotic individuals, can we give it? So suppose if we are giving a drug to suppose if the diagnosis is not proper and we are giving the drug to a non-psychotic individuals, what will happen? So this chlorpromazine, it can not much, it is not that dangerous. I mean, in the therapeutic doses, it will produce indifference to surroundings. So, and spontaneous movements will be minimized. He will be sitting somewhere there without any movements. So it is called neuroleptic syndrome. And these drugs in the CNS, it is mainly because of the D2 receptor blocking protein. We have already seen the dopamine hypothesis for schizophrenia. So to prevent or treat this schizophrenia, it is blocked. Dopamine receptor blocking property. So whenever there is dopamine receptor blocking property, the side effect will be extrapyramidal motor side effects. Always remember, whenever there is D2 blockage, there will be extrapyramidal side effects like Parkinsonism, dystonia, akathisia, everything it can be there. So that is the CNS action, non-psychotic individuals. Suppose our diagnosis is correct and we are giving to psychotic individuals. So psychotic individuals, they will be agitated, they are aggressive, etc. So if you are giving the drug, it will reduce the aggression, agitation, etc. And also all the symptoms, it will be suppressed like hyperactivity, hallucination, delusion, this chlorpromazine, they can produce sedation also. It is good. Then another thing, the effects of this antipsychotic, immediately we won't see any effect. It will take some weeks to develop. And after some time, tolerance will be developing to sedative, but not to the antipsychotic drug, antipsychotic effect. That means in the beginning, people will be having more of sedation. So first to 1 or 2 weeks, 1 month, they will be sedated all the time. Afterwards, they will get used to it. There won't be any sedation, but there is the antipsychotic effect. It will continue. There is no tolerance to antipsychotic effect. That is the meaning. Then I have told you if it is D2 blocking, there will be extrapyramidal motor disturbances. Then we are again seeing the different actions of this antipsychotics in psychotic intervals. The disturbed sleep pattern, it will be normalized. So you would have seen psychotic people, they won't sleep in the night, daytime as well as nighttime. Whenever they may sleep for some time, then they will be agitated, etc. So the disturbed sleep pattern, it will be normalized. But this one chlorpromazine, it can lower the seizure threshold, so it may produce convulsions if in those who are epileptic. Then about the body temperature, it may be reduced. Then they are having anti-emetic action also. It is through the chemoreceptor trigger zone. It is acting through the chemoreceptor trigger zone. So these are the points you have to remember. Then now coming to the mechanism of action, already I have told you the mechanism. It is the dopamine D2 receptor blocking action. So mainly the temporal and the dopaminergic projections in the temporal and prefrontal cortex. So these are the dopamine pathways, or in these areas it will be it is actually blocked by all these antipsychotic drugs. So we have already seen it is because of the increased dopamine there is the psychosis. So when it is blocked, it will be reducing all the hallucination, delusion, etc. So this is actually the mesolimbic and mesocortical pathways. That is in the temporal as well as the prefrontal. So these are the areas where it is acting. The dopamine pathways here. Now, dopamine hypothesis already I have told. But if we are blocking dopamine, we will get an antipsychotic effect. But if the dopamine in the basal ganglia, if it is blocked, it may produce some condition like Parkinsonism. So you would have seen such patients in the society. So it may cause Parkinsonism. So Parkinsonism, the deficiency is actually dopamine deficiency, that is in the basal ganglia. So in the limbic system, the dopamine overactivity is responsible for the schizophrenia, whereas in the dopamine in the basal ganglia, if it is blocked, it may result in Parkinsonism. Then the delayed onset of this effect. Delayed onset, why I told you when this antipsychotic drugs, when it is given, it takes some 1 or 2 weeks to produce the effects. This is because when we are giving antipsychotic drugs, the body's compensatory mechanism is there will be increased firing of dopamine first to compensate the effect that is produced by antipsychotic drugs. But later on, that also will be suppressed, and the therapeutic effect of antipsychotic drugs, that is the dopamine antagonistic effect, it will come, and along with there will be extrapyramidal side effects. But there are drugs for treating extrapyramidal side effects. And this also we have seen, there are also the mechanism, there is a 5-HT mechanism is there, then glutamate hypothesis. So through which the different drugs are acting. Or I have told LSD and other hallucinogens are 5-HT receptor agonist. So that is one point. Then another point, then this point also you have to remember. Whenever the dopamine is blocked, dopamine and prolactin, it is inversely proportional. So when dopamine is blocked, prolactin will increase, or when prolactin is blocked, dopamine is increased. So it is inversely proportional. So the effect is, there is a side effect. Dopaminergic blockade in primary pituitary lactotrophs causes hyperprolactinemia. Understood? So if there is dopamine block, there will be hyperprolactinemia. Because of this, we will see some other side effects also. Then it acts on the CTSL and having the antiemetic action. The hyperprolactinemia we will see in endocrine that effect. Okay, now so we have seen the effect in the CNS. Now we are seeing the effects in the autonomic nervous system. The main autonomic nervous system, the effect is alpha adrenergic blocking activity. So alpha adrenergic blocking activity means what will happen? Alpha block means yes. Today Mohammad Rai city is there. Mohammad Rai city. Say every day your name is there, but you are not present. Hello, Rice.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, why are you doing like this? Hmm? Every day I can see your mobile, your name, but you are not present. Show your face, Mohammad Rice. Hmm. Where are you all the time? Last class also you kept your mobile here and you were doing some other thing, isn't it? Where did you go last time? You were seeing some films in the TV?
No, ma'am, I have network problem.
If there is network problem, your name won't come here, no? Every day I'll be checking whether you're coming or not. Okay. Now have you reached hostel or are you at home?
Home,
Where is your house?
Malappuram.
Okay, you people are asked to come to hostel, no? You are not coming.
Today, today.
Today you'll be coming. Okay. See, if your attendance percentage, if it is very low, you cannot go for the exam. That you are aware, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So be careful. So hereafter, not only in my class, all the classes you have to attend. There won't be any compensation in the end to make up your attendance. So if your attendance is very low, you will not write the exam. Okay?
Okay.
You should be serious. You can switch off your video. So the alpha adrenergic blocking activity, that is one action on the autonomic nervous system. And it's mainly for clotpromazine and very less for pymoside. Then another action is anticholinergic property, especially in case of haloperidol. Then also antihistaminic activity and anti-5-HT actions. But phenothiazines, it is weak. I told you, for especially this is for atypical antipsychotics. So alpha adrenergic, anticholinergic, and antihistaminic and anti-5-HT. But this is mainly for the atypical antipsychotics. Now, local anesthetic action is also there, but because of the irritation, they are not used as local anesthetic agents. Then in CVS already we have said there is an alpha adrenergic blocking property. So because of that, there will be hypotension. And this hypotension, it can be not only peripheral, but because of the central action also, there will be alpha adrenergic blocking, hypotension. And if there is hypertension, so in the beginning, if you're giving the drugs, they may develop hypotension, and so they have to lie down. So sometimes they may fall down because of the hypotension. We have to be very careful in the beginning. Now, endocrine. Okay, I have already told if there is D2 block, there will be prolactin will be increased. So increased prolactin. This is mainly because the dopamine usually it has a blocking action on prolactin. That inhibition it is removed. So because of that, what is happening? Galactorrhea and gynecomastia. I think you know what is galactorrhea and gynecomastia. Yes, I'll ask Rice itself. Mohammad Rice, do you know what is galactorrhea? Hello, again he left.
No, ma'am.
You know what is galactoria? If you know, you say yes, otherwise you say no. Hmm?
Again.
Mm. You know what is galactoria?
No, ma'am.
I'll ask someone else. Shajna Sharaf. Shajna. Shajna Sharaf. Are you there? Hmm? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Galactoria.
Yes, ma'am.
What is galactoria?
Ma'am, discharge of milk, no?
Yes. Increase, don't say discharge, increase milk secretion. Okay. So that is galactoria. So there will be milk secretion. Gynecomastia means it is the development of the development of breast in males. So that is gynecomastia. So these things can happen as endocrine changes. Then other hormones that are reduced, it is growth hormone, gonadotropins, ADH, etc., will be reduced as well as ACTH. So these hormones will be reduced by CPZ. So because you have to see this all this you have to study all these actions, because if you give antipsychotic drugs, the patient may, so suppose you are becoming a psychiatric in the future, and you will be prescribing the drugs and the patient will be coming with gynecomastia or galactoria, then you should be able to understand that it is because of the drug, so that you don't have to worry at all. So you have to counsel them, tell them this is nothing, but they may think it is because of some cancer or something, or what happened. So you should know all these things. That is why I'm telling everything. Okay. Then other changes, it will impair the glucose tolerance or aggravate diabetes, but this is less only. And serum triglycerides will be elevated, and there will be weight gain also. So clotrimazole, when it is given, the patient may gain weight also. Tolerance and dependence, already I have told, to the tolerance may develop to sedative and hypotensive actions, but for the antipsychotics, extrapyramidal and other actions, which are based on dopamine antagonism, they won't develop any tolerance. So it will persist. Only the sedation and hypotensive action, there will be tolerance. And there won't be any addiction or something. So if you are giving antipsychotic drugs like other drugs, other addictive drugs, they won't develop any addiction, but they will have the pleasant nature after taking the drug. Now pharmacokinetics. These drugs, the bioavailability of the oral bioavailability, it is less in case, but we are giving oral only, but mainly the consistent effect are seen in IM or IV. And nowadays, because of the atypical antipsychotics, they are using mainly the psychiatrists. They will be using mainly the atypical antipsychotics, which are easily orally available, and oral absorption is very good. But these drugs are also can be given, but main consistent effect is seen on IM or IV. And it's single dose, the action will last for 6 to 8 hours, and it may on repeated administration there is cumulative effect also is seen. And so once the psychotic drugs are given, the action will be taking start action only within 1 or 2 weeks, but its action will persist for a long time if you are continuing the drug. This is because of the tight binding to the D2 receptors, these drugs. Now we will see one by one the different drugs, important features, not all, because general features I have already told all the action on CNS, psychotic, non-psychotic, and CVS, ANS, everything we have seen. Now certain features of only the specific drugs. First one, triflupromazine. It is more potent. So we were seeing the features of chlorpromazine, and now compared to chlorpromazine, this triflupromazine, it is more potent. It is having antiemetic, and acute muscle dystonia. So this is the muscle. You can see the muscles of the movements. You can see the very contracted state like this. So this is called muscle dystonia. So this can occur because this is one of the extrapyramidal symptoms. So this is triflupromazine, one drug. Now thioridazine, it is low potency compared to triflupromazine, and it is having anticholinergic action, and the extrapyramidal side effects, it is low, thioridazine. Then in Tripadi, there is a chart in which you can, there is a tabular column in which it is written all these points. You can just compare. So these points, I am just telling only the important points. Then trifluperazine and flufenazine, they are also high potency piperazine. Then haloperidol, it is a very, very important drug. Haloperidol, it is the most commonly used typical antipsychotic drug. It is having high potency. It won't cause any convulsion, does not cause weight gain, and it is the preferred drug for acute schizophrenia, then Huntington's disease, and Gilles-Dilla-Tourette syndrome. So Huntington's disease, you would have seen Huntington's chorea. Chorea, have you seen any patients with chorea? Jubin Samad? Jubin. Jubin Samad.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen any patients with Huntington's chorea?
Yes, ma'am.
You have seen?
No, not actual patient here.
No, it is not a. No, what were you telling? Have you seen?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Okay. Anyone in the class? Have you seen anyone with Huntington's chorea? Anyone? Chorea patients? So I think this from, you know what is choreography? Jubin Samad. Choreography, you know, isn't it? Hello.
Ma'am.
Choreography, you know, choreography.
Yeah.
What is choreography? Who is the dancer in the class? Who is the dancer? You are. Jubin Samad.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yeah.
Then who is the No one. 18 additional, there is no singer, no dancer. Okay. So Korea means it is like these patients, they will be making some, they cannot sit sit still. They will be making some dancing movements. So that is the whole, either the hands or the whole body will be, when they are walking also, they will make dancing movements. That is called Huntington's chorea. So this haloperidol, it can be used for that condition. Then Gilles-Dilla-Tourette syndrome. So Tourette syndrome, it can be of anything. It's a combination of different features. The ADHD, that is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, depression, personality disorders, anxiety, everything together, it is called Tourette syndrome. And personality disorder in that itself, some tics. Tics means, one example, frequent blinking of eyes. So that is another tic. So such it is called Gilles-Dilla-Tourette syndrome. So in that case also we can use this haloperidol. So haloperidol, it is very important drug as an antipsychotic. Then another drug related to more potent than haloperidol, it is trifluperidol. Then another one, penfluridol. And this penfluridol, it is very long acting. So it is used for chronic schizophrenia, and it is mainly used for chronic schizophrenia. It is penfluridol. Then another one, it is flupendixol. Then another drug, it is pymoside. Pymoside, it is another one which is having long duration of action. So it is used for maintenance of therapy. So the long duration of action, and but there is some risk of arrhythmias, and this is also used for Gilles-Dila-Tourette syndrome, like haloperidol. So pymoside and haloperidol, it is mainly used for it is used for schizophrenia, and also it can be used for Gilles-Dila-Tourette syndrome. And in tics. Tics means, I told you one example. Then another one is loxapine. Then nothing important. Then levosulpiride. This is important. Levosulpiride. So it is an antipsychotic drug, and the important points are it is having prokinetic activity also. We have already seen what are prokinetics. It is used in schizophrenia, anxiety, gastroesophageal reflux disease, irritable bowel syndrome, peptic ulcer. So gastroesophageal reflux disease, everything we have seen already. So usually there will be a sphincter that will be closed, but if it is open, all the contents of the stomach, it will come to the esophagus. So this is called gastroesophageal reflux. Reflux means it is backflow. So for this condition, we can use this levosulpiride. Then peptic ulcer. We know what is peptic ulcer. It is also used for, and it is a prokinetic drug also. So it will increase the gastric emptying. So that is levosulpiride. Yes, I was talking about this chart only. You can go through it. It is given in Tripathi. So all the drugs, its effect, it is given like this. See, first one, there is chlorpromazine. Chlorpromazine, it is having all the extrapyramidal side effects is there. Sedation is there, hypotension, anti-emetic. Triflupromazine, see the dose. It is only less compared to chlorpromazine. So this is more potent with less dose. But other actions are similar to this one. Thioridazine, again, extrapyramidal side effect less. So, but sedation is there, hypotension, anti-emetic also is there. All are having all actions, but some comparisons are there. Okay. So again, haloperidol. Haloperidol, see everything. You can see this extrapyramidal side effects is there. It is very potent. See, 2 to 20 milligram. So like this. So you can see this chart. And all the atypical, that also it is mentioned here, loxapine, clozapine, risperidone. So everything, you can see this chart, you can see in the Tripathi. This is the chart I have taken. Oh, it's over. Yes, over. I think you understand. We will just have a look once again from the first to last, because there is time. Okay, so there are positive and negative symptoms. Then there are important pathogenesis, genetic predisposition, dopamine hypothesis, 5-HT hypothesis, glutamate hypothesis. Yes, chlorpromazine is the prototype. So these are the different classification. CNS, there will be action in non-psychotic. And psychotic also, all the hyperactivity, hallucinations, etc. will be suppressed. Then sleep pattern will be normalized, but there can be convulsions. Then anti-emetic action is there. Then all the mechanism of action is mainly by dopamine receptor blocking. I'm talking this is about chlorpromazine. And if it is mainly in the mesolimbic system, if it is blocked, it is used in schizophrenia. But in basal ganglia, if the dopamine is blocked, it can cause schizophrenia. Then ANS, alpha adrenergic blocking activities there, anticholinergic properties there, H1 antihistaminic and the 5-HT action, but phenothiazines it is weak. And local anesthetic, because of the irritation, it is not used. CVS, alpha block, because of that. There may be hypotension. Endocrine, because of the increased prolactin release, there will be galactorrhea, gynecomastia. Tolerance only to sedation and hypertension, not to antipsychotic action. Pharmacokinetics, oral bioavailability, it is low. Then distinctive features, triflupromazine is there, thioridazine, and trifluperazine, flufenazine, haloperidol. This is important. It is high potency and does not cause any weight gain. It is drug for acute schizophrenia as well as Huntington's chorea, Tourette syndrome. So these are the other drugs. Then pimoside, it is having long duration of action. Levosulfuride, it is having a prokinetic action also, used in schizophrenia, anxiety, GERD, that is gastroesophageal reflux disease, irritable bowel syndrome, and peptic ulcer. Okay.